Let me first welcome Russell Smith, founder of Guerrilla Signs, to the stage. So folks, help me welcome Russell.
My name's Russell Smith. I'm the inventor and CEO for engineering for the Guerrilla Signs. I wanted to mention that Sedalia is a very important city, actually, for this company already. In fact, I purchased the majority of my materials for the manufacturing of my product here locally through Sedalia Steel. And they have done an incredible job for me. If you guys do any type of metal fabrication, I certainly recommend them. Just a little bit about my background. I grew up doing a lot of metal fabrication. I would, sorry, it's been a while since I presented. Still a little nervous. I grew up doing a lot of metal fabrication, watching my dad work out in the yard and watch him do redundant tasks over and over and over again. And so I would actually go out to the metal shop and I would design tools that would help improve what he was doing, making it a little bit easier for him. And as I would do this time and time again, I started to realize that I really love engineering. And so I started pursuing some of my own types of products. And as those products started getting more and more complex, I realized that I didn't have the tools, the education that I needed to really understand how to fully design what it is I was trying to build. And so I ended up going to college, and prior to college, I didn't really have much of an education. And so when I started to really dive into the mathematics book, it was an entirely new world for me. And I became very addicted to mathematics. I started studying mathematics on my winter breaks. I even became sick from studying mathematics a couple times. Because I started to realize that the mathematics connected the geometry of what I was trying to design. It would connect it to the real world. So I was able to design the geometry of something purely through mathematics. And then as I started to get introduced to physics, I started to realize the relationships that connected the mathematics to the real world. And so I was able to start designing pneumatic motors and engines, and I'm currently working on some electric motors. And after I graduated, I started designing these products and realizing that I didn't have anybody that could go out and market them for me. And so I would design these products and they would just sit there. I would try the hardest that I could to contact the right people to get the product out, and failed time and time again. Finally, through an act of prayer, I was introduced to the #1 real estate agent in the Springfield, Branson area. And he came to me with a list of about 10 problems that he's experienced with being able to market real estate. And he said, "Russ, I've tried to find an engineer that could design something that solved all these problems. I've tried for the last 30 years. And they've all told me that it cannot be done." And so I took that list, and within 24 hours, I came up with this. This is the world's first folding banner frame. It's a new marketing tool, not only for real estate, but just a business in general. I want to show you the first part of this video here, just so you can see the part that I can't demonstrate. Actually, let me get this out of your way here. This is the entire product, as is. You'll notice that I'm actually pulling out a pin here. And when I flip it over, there's a stake that slides out. Now, when I reinsert the pin, notice that it allows me to actually use the frame to drive the stake into the ground. So the whole concept is that there are absolutely no tools required to set it up or take it down. Now, notice as well that I can actually reverse drive the the stake out as well. So the whole concept here is that no tools are needed to set it up. Now I think I can set it up here fine. We'll see. Once it gets mounted into the ground, okay, then it's just a matter of pulling a couple pins. I don't have any additional tools that are required. It's just all parts that are always on the sign. Let me just... One of the nice things about this design is that it's something that anybody can do by themselves. I mean, you can be in high winds and go out and set up a full-size commercial sign. We've had 120-pound women do this, pulling it out of the trunk of their car, no problem, setting it up. I think I got this. Yep. Yep. Notice that the same 4 pins that were holding these arms closed, those are the same pins that I'm using to attach this banner onto the frame. Now, once you get 3 of the 4 corners attached, this is actually where things start to get pretty cool. I'm actually going to have to step this back a little bit, I think. And this is really what the makes it extremely easy to do yourself. Is all I have to do to set it up is that. Okay, so now I'm actually going to take this last pin here, and that's what I'm going to use to attach the last pin. So what this product does is it just empowers you to be able to go out and market your products and services anywhere that you go. The best analogy that I like to give is imagine that you're like a lawn care service. Okay, up until now, all you had was to put decals on your vehicle and hope that you can park your vehicle close enough to the road that it does you any good. Imagine every time you go out to mow the lawn, being able to, in about 2 to 3 minutes, set up a full-size commercial sign that has your company name and your number, so every person that drives by knows exactly who's mowing the lawn and who to call. We find that these things pay for themselves pretty quick. Any questions?
You manufacture?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we kind of took a little bit different approach than most people I think would have done. I set up a manufacturing facility with Mennonites. Just kind of connections that I've had in the past. I know that they've always done really good work. Very easy people to work with. And so that was my approach to start working with Mennonites. Now, as we've started to grow as a company, we've found that some of these bigger companies are requiring us to have more of an established manufacturer. That way they have more of a guarantee that they're going to get the product on time. So right now I'm kind of in the process of making that transition. But does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Are they expandable? Or is that...
Not yet. To kind of build on that a little bit, this is one of about 9 sign products that I'm going to introduce, along with my business partner Ken Coleman. He does the majority of the marketing of of these products. And this was, I chose this one to kind of be our starter, simply because it's the easiest for us to manufacture. And as we grow, we'll start incorporating things like expanding it so that it's not only a 4x4, but it's a 4x8. And I'll come out with various designs, as well as accessories for the signs as well.
Do you supply the banners also, or just the frame?
We do everything. We outsource the banners, but I mean you get it through us if that's what you're asking. Yeah, we outsource the banners. Yeah.
You may have said this and I missed it, but when did your business start? When did you open your business? And what has been your greatest challenge and your greatest opportunity so far?
Oh man, you are tough. We actually started with a different product, and you might have to remind me a little bit about the last part. I get carried away sometimes. We actually started in, I think, May of 2014 with a different type of sign. It was a much smaller design built strictly for residential real estate. And kind of on the side, I had designed that real quick. And we got the opportunity to present at a international convention for Keller Williams down in Austin, Texas, about 13 months ago, something like that. And so I thought, what a great opportunity. I'll just build one of these real quick and we'll compare them at the event. Well, that's what we did, and hands down, this one won. So as of about 13 months ago is when we started introducing this. But we've been a company for about 3 years. Does that kind of answer your question? Greatest challenge. Kind of overcoming the waves of income and the no income, no income. As a startup, we're entirely self-funded for this product, and so you can imagine, how many cycles, how many waves you go through. You get some money, and you're able to progress the manufacturing to a point, and then you run out of money for a little while, and then you back up again. So it's very challenging that way to be able to maintain all the equipment and the employees, to be able to keep manufacturing going. So that's probably our biggest challenge. Yeah.
What is your distribution channel? I mean, are you going to do all of the signs, and what's the price point on one of these?
Yeah, I got to get into a little bit more of our business plan to answer that. I have a very good marketing partner. What he's found is that really the best way to get this product to the market is by showing people. For example, I don't think you got this simply by watching the video. You have to actually be demonstrated it live. And so what we're doing to accomplish that is we're setting up representatives and distributors throughout the country. And we've actually made quite a bit of progress. We're out as far as Chattanooga, Tennessee, starting to get out into California, have some reps and distributors out in Colorado, Texas, Iowa, Oklahoma. So that's how we're starting to distribute the product and get it out. And what was the price point? For retail, if you just wanted to order one of them, the frame is about $6.95. We don't do a whole lot of retail ourselves anymore. We're mostly trying to transition into wholesale. When you look at what the product actually offers, it actually ends up saving you a lot of money. Let me explain that a little bit. If you look at, say, just an ordinary wooden frame commercial real estate sign, okay, the nice ones, the ones that are a good representation of your company, those on average are about $500. You have to pay for the material, you have to pay for somebody to go out and paint it, you have to pay for somebody to set it up, take it down. Sometimes you have to pay for storage if you want to use it more than once. So overall, they average about $500. This here is $6.95, and you get to reuse it. You don't have to pay for storage. You don't have to pay somebody to go out and put it up. It's something that you don't have to tell your client, oh, it'll be a couple days before you get your sign out. You get to tell them, where do you want it? You can actually go and set it up while you're there. It's a convenience. This is something that you can store under your desk rather than having a full storage unit just for signs. Also, too, I did forget to mention, this attaches onto a bumper hitch as well. And that's actually how I wind tested it for strength. It can mount perpendicularly or parallel to your direction. And so, on the bumper hitch, it adds another 1.5 feet or so. So it's really, in your face, which is great. Yeah.
You put a sign on each side, or is it just single sign?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can put a sign on either side. I designed it to be a single-sided sign, and then people started requesting the double side. So I made a few changes, and yes, we can. You can also put a rider. So in the holes that were holding the arms of the sign closed, you can actually put a rider from end to end. So you can keep this your standard banner and only change out your rider. So you might want to one day have your phone number, and after you sell a house or something, sold, or this is what you change out for a lot less cost.
Would it have applications like the trade shows? You see these people always have these trade show setups where they have their banners and things like that.
That's an excellent point. Yeah, what we're finding, it's kind of a weird transition because I designed this originally for real estate, but as we've progressed in the marketing, we found that really this is the best marketing tool for events. And yeah, and the reason being is every event that we've ever been to with this product, it's hands down the best marketing tool there. And the reason is, sorry, go ahead. Did you?
I was wondering the price point on just extra banners. You had different events and you wanted to use it at different.
Yeah, to change out just one banner, it's $69. For one, it's $69. Yeah, price comes down obviously with quantity. But the reason that this is such an effective marketing tool is one, it's easy to set up. So it's easy to put multiple signs all over the event advertising your one company in just a matter of minutes. Another reason is it's professional looking. Everybody else is hanging their banner off of their tent or a tree or a fence post. This is the first collapsible banner frame in the world. Another reason is the height. Never ceases to amaze me that every event I go to, people always put their banners all over the place, not realizing that when the crowd comes, nobody's going to see them. This is the only thing that you see. This is the only banner that you ever see at the event because of its height. So those three things alone make this a phenomenal, probably the best marketing tool for events. Yeah.
Is that the version you would use if you was putting it on concrete instead of driving it in the ground, or how do you just put it on a solid surface floor without doing the stake in the ground?
And without having to blow over.
Yeah, well, indoors we have this stand here. Outdoors we have a bumper hitch or we have a concrete stand as well. The concrete stand I just recently introduced, so we don't have a whole lot of them out yet. But yeah, there is that option. There is that option.
I guess you could duct tape it to the floor and keep it going.
Yeah, I probably could. Probably better off getting a little weight or something though. Yeah. Any question? Oh.
Have you gone through any kind of patenting process? Obviously.
Absolutely, yeah.
Tell us about that experience.
It was horrible. Yeah, it was a horrible experience, but I'm going to have to go through it, I think, a lot more times in the near future even. It entails, it's hard to communicate all the concepts of an idea to somebody else without being able to actually demonstrate it for them live. So it was very challenging that way, being able to communicate this concept to somebody else in enough detail. Because like what you're seeing here is one design. If I just patented this, it wouldn't stop somebody else from designing something similar. So what I had to do is I had to not only design this, but I had to design the next few possible ways of achieving the same type of thing. And we had to incorporate that as well into the patent. So it's brutal. It's a brutal process. It took us a month or so to get through it, of just sending designs and all that stuff. Yeah.
Speaking of the patent, what is the average cost now?
Oh, probably 10,000, right around in there. Yeah, typically when you start up a new so I've heard anyways. We haven't been anywhere near this because I've been able to do the design work myself and the fabrication myself and all this. But I think typically it costs you anywhere from 10 to 40 grand to start a new product, and the majority of that is a lot of that is the patent. Yeah. One thing that I didn't mention was probably the best part of designing this was testing it. As I mentioned a moment ago, I actually bolted this onto the back of a truck with that hitch mount. And so I was hanging onto the back of the truck while my friend's driving down the highway, screaming at me, 65 miles an hour, and anyways, we finally got up to about 75, and I'm getting a little bit nervous because this thing's, doing one of these. And 80 mile an hour, I was a little bit more concerned about the truck than I was the sign. And so at that point, we just stopped. This has been wind tested at 80 mile an hour. Dropped it off the back of a truck at 65 once. Picked it up, dusted it off, and it's still good. So it's a pretty tough toy. Any other questions?
So I had a last question for you. If there's no more questions from the audience, what can we do as a community for you? One of the best things that you can do is get on Twitter, Facebook, upload, pictures of the event, any type of social media that you can get out there for us, just based on, what's happened here today. That's always a huge help. If there's anybody in particular that you think would be interested in this product, whether it be as a distributor, as a rep, or just somebody who's going to own one, I'd be more than happy to talk with them today or set up an appointment for another day. Certainly appreciate the references.